students, welcome to the long deck. And here, this is the class 7, chapter 1, nutrition in plants, nuts, important nuts. Okay, so here, first of all, here we have to know, okay, that is the components of food. Okay, so what are the components of food? Okay, so here the component of food that we need in our body generally are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals, and also we can include the water and fiber, ruggers and all also it can include. Okay, so these are the components of the food that we eat. Okay, so now here comes the nutrition. What is nutrition? So nutrition, it is the mode of the taking the food by an organism and its utilizations by the body. So that is simply called as the nutrition. So we are going to take the food and it is utilized by the organisms only. Okay, so here will come to the types of the nutritions. Okay, so nutritions can be divided into the two types: autotrophic nutrition. So it is the process in which the organisms produce their food from the simple inorganic materials such as water, carbon dioxide, and minerals, salt in the presence of sunlight. That is done by the green plants. So, and it is also that will come under that is the photosynthesis. Okay, another one is that heterotrophic nutrition. So it is the mode of nutrition in which the organisms depend upon the other organisms to survive food. Okay, an example like animals and green plants and all. They do not have the chlorophylls and all. They cannot prepare their own food, so they depends on the plants. That means the other plants. Yeah. And now comes to the nutrients. What are nutrients? A nutrient is the components of the food used by an organism to survive, grow, and reproduce. And why do all organisms take food? This is a very interesting question, isn't it? Yeah. So this, the all organisms takes food and utilize it to get energy for the growth and the maintenance of their bodies. Growth and maintenance. Growth, that is our body cells keep on growing, and with the change of the time, with change of the year, our body get mature and all. And maintenance, inside our body we are performing different kinds of the activities like respirations, breathing, circulations, excretions, digestions and all. For all these body functions, it requires energy, so it comes under the maintenance of our bodies. Okay, yeah. And next comes to now mode of nutrition in plants and animals. What do you think? What is the mode of nutrition in plants? That is the autotrophic nutrition, and in animal that is heterotrophic nutrition in 1 marks, in 2 marks, and so you can ask. Yeah, so this is about the modes of the nutritions. Okay, so now we know that the plant used to get foods by the autotrophic nutrition. What are the components that require? Stomata. Okay, so the stomata is the tiny pores or openings present under the leaves of the plants. Okay, so they are simply called as the stomata. They are okay under the leaves of the plants, and during the sunshines, the stomata is have the opening and it is protected by the two guard cells. During the sunshine, these two guard cells are open, and during the night time, that is in the absence of the sunlight, they are closed. Okay, and through the stomata only, that is the carbon dioxide get enter
During the sunlight,
inside the
these
cell,
stomata
and
open
also during the
and close, and it
photosynthesis,
is
oxygen is
maintained by
produced.
the
That is
two
also
guard
comes
cell
out
present
through
in
this
the stomata.
stomata. So that will comes under the functions of the stomatas right now. Okay, so comes to the function of the stomata. As I mentioned, help in the breathings of the plants. It helps in the exchange of the gases inside the plant cells. Okay, these two are the function of the stomata. Okay, now comes to the chlorophylls. What is chlorophylls? The green pigments present in all the green plants, which is responsible for the absorption of the light to provide energy for photosynthesis. That is called as the chlorophylls. They are green in color and they contain the chloroplast. Okay, they contain the chloroplast, that is the green pigment that we call as chloroplast. Okay, now comes to the functions of the chlorophylls. What are the functions of? To trap the sun's energy required for the photosynthesis. Okay, the function of chlorophyll is to trap the sunlight energy because sunlight contains heat, that energy. Okay, and that is required for the photosynthesis. And at a time, the carbon dioxide and the water get mixed up, and that is done by these chlorophylls. Okay, so photosynthesis now. The process by which all the green plants synthesis, that means prepare their own food from the water and carbon dioxide in the presence of the sunlight and the chlorophylls. Okay, is called photosynthesis. So the green plants they synthesize their food, okay, from the simple
Equations of
substance carbon
photosynthesis.
dioxide, water,
So here the
okay, in the
water
presence of
react
sunlight
with the
and the
carbon dioxide in the
chlorophyll.
presence of
Okay,
sunlight,
that is
okay,
called
to give the
photosynthesis.
glucose and the oxygens.
And here if we write in the equation H2O, water is equations, carbon dioxide CO2, sunlight chlorophyll, and glucose is C6H12O6, and oxygen by O2. Okay, so the food factories of the plants. Okay, the food factory of plant is the leaf, but for those plants which are in the deserts, they reduce their leaves into the spines to reduce or to prevent from the loss of the water due to the temperature is very hot there. Okay, ultimate sources of energy in all the living organisms. What is the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms? The sun is the ultimate sources of energy for all the living organisms. How? Because we got the food. The food is comes from the plant. Let's say if we take the animal may eat the plant. And these plants, what comes, they prepare food from the sun. That means without the sun, the plant cannot make their food. That means that without the sunlight, then no more plant. If no more plant, there are more animal. Then no one should be there in the earth. Only the microbes have to live there. Yeah. So the sun is the ultimate sources of energy for all the living organisms. Saprotrophic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which organisms take in the nutrients from the dead and the decaying matters is called the saprotrophic nutrition that depends on the dead and the decaying matters of the plants and the animals. Example like fungi, molds, saprotrophs. Now comes those organisms, okay, which there is no there perform the saprotrophic mode of the nutrition are called the saprotrophs. Example like fungus and all I told you now. Cell. The smallest structural and the functional unit of an organism are called cell. Cell membranes. The thin flexible layer around the cell which permits the flow of the materials is called the cell membranes. Cytoplasms. The jelly-like fluids that fills inside the cell is called the cytoplasms. Okay, so the difference between the plant cells and the animal cells. The plant cell have the cell walls on their body. That's why they have the rigid structure. They are hard. But the animal cell do not have cell wall, but it is covered with the cell membrane. That is a thin layer which allow to pass the materials. And inside them, it is filled with the cytoplasm. Okay, so nucleus body is present in the center in the plant animal cell, but for the plant cell it is in the side. Inside there is small nucleus vacuoles. There is the empty space. Okay, it's present in the plant cells, animal cells, but plant cell have the large vacuoles. Okay, mitochondria are present in both. Plant cells do not have the chloroplast or chlorophylls. Okay, but in plant cell here it contains the chloroplast or you say the chlorophylls. Okay, so in the chloroplast only here going to come chlorophylls and all. Okay, so this is the difference between the plant cell and animal cells. Why desert plants modify their leaves as scale spines? It is to reduce the loss of the water by the process of the transpirations. Transpiration is the process of the loss of the water molecules from the leaf. Name the bacteria which fix the atmospheric nitrogen to usable form. Okay, so the name of the bacteria is the rhizobium bacteria, which live in the root of the leguminous plants like peas, beans, etc. They trap the atmospheric nitrogens and convert them into the usable form. Okay, and these nitrogens into nitrate, and this is the one of the for the plants.